Good afternoon. Once again, the shir is sponsored in memory of Chana Devora Bas Avraham. And also, it should be as chus that Hashem should continue to protect the people in Eretz Yisrael from the attacks of the anti-Semites. Last week you mentioned that as Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai came out of the Ma'ara, out of the cave, he ran into Reb Pinchas ben Yair, his father-in-law. Aile lebebane, and Reb Pinchas ben Yair brought Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai to a bathhouse. Havi ka'arach le lebisre, chazi dahave bepili begufe. And as he was washing him, he saw that his skin was pitted from sitting all those years in the sand. Havi kabachi, he was crying, v'kanasru dimas ene, and the tears were falling out of his eyes. V'kavitzavchale, Reb Pinchas ben Yair was crying out to Reb Shimon bar Yochai, Oy li shara'isicha bekach. Woe to me that I have to see you in this state. Amar lei. So Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai said back, Ashrecha shara'isani bakach. You're fortunate that you see me like this. Shilmali lo ra'isini bakach. If you didn't see me in this state, lo matzasa bakach. You wouldn't now see me as the person that I am, because of the tremendous spiritual growth that I underwent during my 13 years in the cave. The Meikara originally, prior to Reb Shimon bar Yochai's staying in the cave, Kavimakshi Reb Shimon bar Yochai kushya, Reb Shimon bar Yochai would ask a question, Kavimafarik le Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair Tresar Piruki. Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair would offer him 12 answers. L'sof, but now after Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai came out of the cave, Kiavimakshi Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair kushya, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair would pose a question to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, have a mafarik le Rashbi Esrin Varba Piruki. Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai would offer 24 answers. Now, this concept that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai offered 24 answers. So it's explained in various Kabbalistic works that when Adam and Chava committed the Chet Eitz Hadas, the sin of the tree of knowledge, so Hashem said, Va'eva Oshis, that I'm going to place hatred between yourself and the Nachash, the serpent. And the word Ve'eva has the gematria, the numerical value of 24. And the Kabbalistic works explain that initially, when Adam and Chava were brought into Gan Eden, Hashem adorned them with 24 adornments, 24 kishute kala. But now there was a spiritual blockage equal to that 24 that was placed in the world, which prevented Adam and Chava from connecting to those 24 spiritual adornments. The 24 answers that Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai was able to give to the questions that were posed to him, that represents his ability to break through the damage and the impurity caused by the nachash, caused by the snake, and to be able to connect again to the inner spiritual wealth of the Torah. There's actually a very fascinating medrash. It's really a Zohar, where the Zohar says on the pasuk Vayemoru es chayehem, that the Egyptians embittered the lives of the Jews. Ba'avoda kasha, with difficult work. And the Zohar says that refers to kushya, the ability to pose questions. B'chomer, which literally means with mortar, but the Zohar says it means bikal v'chomer. Using the logic, we're not going to get into explaining what it means right now, but the logic the Gemara uses frequently, which is referred to as a kal v'chomer. Ubilvenim, which literally means with bricks. And again, the Zohar interprets this as belibon hilchasa, with clarifying halachos. Ubechol avoda basadeh, and all sorts of work out in the fields. Da brisa, that refers to the brisos. Brisos are collections of statements of Tanoim that didn't make it into the canon of the Mishnah, and they're outside. That's why they're called a brisa. It's like they are a field. And the point is, the Zohar is trying to say, is that the work that Klal Yisrael was doing in Mitzrayim was meant to destroy the impurity that existed in the world, the spiritual impurity that existed in the world. Klal Yisrael was destroying with the work that they were doing, both the physical work and the spiritual work that accompanied it, destroyed the impurity that had arrived in the world after the sin of Adam and Chava. And so these 24 answers that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai had the ability to give to his father-in-law, they also symbolize the ability to break through the impurity that had been placed, that had taken away from the people the adornments which Adam and Chava had received, and to give them access to the spiritual power of those adornments. In the Sefer Divrei Torah, written by the first Munkatcher Rebbe, also known as the Minchas Elazar, he explains that the Gemara says that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai and Rebbe Pinchas ben Yair were now dialoguing. Rebbe Pinchas ben Yair were asking questions. Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai was answering him. And he says that until seeing this Gemara, he would have assumed that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai's efforts while he was in the Ma'ara, while he was in the cave, were geared towards learning and composing spiritual matters, the Zohar and associated works. And yet here we see that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai is coming out of there, and his dialogue with his father-in-law is all about the revealed portions of the Torah. So he mentions that the students of the Arizal write about him that every time he learned a Gemara, he would offer 6 different approaches to understanding the Gemara in the Nigle, in the revealed manner, and one approach to understanding the Gemara Kabbalistically. So you see then that the great Kabbalists, they put a tremendous amount of work into the revealed portions of the Torah as well. But why over here is it only referring to the revealed portions of the Torah that Rebbe Shimon bar Yochai and his son toiled in? Why does it mention anything about the efforts they put into understanding the secrets of the Torah? But the answer, he explains, is because it's only by working through what we saw beforehand from the Zohar the revealed portions of the Torah and going through to resolve issues, to build up new points, and break through the outer layer of the revealed Torah, that we then have the ability to come to the understanding of the secrets of the Torah as well. That's why I'm going to try to refrain from getting on a soapbox now. But there are certain people who learn the Zohar and other Kabbalistic works as a subject on their own, or maybe don't learn them in conjunction with learning the Talmud and the other revealed portions of the Torah. But the fact of the matter is that it's impossible to fully appreciate and understand what the Zohar and associated works are teaching you without having an understanding of the revealed Torah, and putting one's efforts into understanding the revealed Torah also creates a forum by which understanding and appreciating the Kabbalistic portions of the Torah become available to a person as well. Thank you very much for listening. I'm hoping to get in one more shir this week before we take a break for Pesach. Have a very good afternoon.